Welcome to the tip here at agentruth.com, where the truth is our only agenda. Tonight is our wonderful, very Merry Christmas special. We got some interesting stuff for you. We have singers from Mud River Union coming on the set that's going to sing some wonderful Christmas carols and songs for you tonight. We also have special guests coming on, Abby and Mark Keelin, with their two twin boys that they adopted and are going to be having their first Christmas this year. Tonight I want you to think about the real meaning and the real gift of Christmas, and that's the gift of life. And I've got to share some very personal stories with you and also what the real meaning in Christmas is about. But before we get started, I got to show you something. You see this wonderful, beautiful poinsettia. Used to be a poinsettia. My wonderful wife picked up this poinsettia for our set. And of course, as guys tend to do, we don't take very good care of plants. So it has not been watered for several days. And our wonderful poinsettia is not doing so hot anymore. But this is typical studio movie magic, and what we do is we take the bad side, we spin it around to the back. See how that looks? Yeah. Isn't that right, Mike? Yeah. Worst case scenario, if the whole thing had died, Michael could have just taken a poinsettia, a picture of one, and popped it here the whole time, right? Mike, make a poinsettia pop up on my hand right now. All right, there you go. See, watch. Now I got a poinsettia just popped on my hand. That was great stuff. Basically, I want to share something with you. This time of year, I can tell you that a lot of families, a lot of dads get stressed out. I can remember, several years ago, 6 or 7 years ago, I didn't have a pot to pee in. I remember Christmas time came around and I really couldn't afford Christmas presents for my kids. If you want to know something, that's when you really feel like a real loser, And it's not until you get older. And it was like around 2008, a business that I was working in credit card processing, I started doing very well. I remember this one year that, and Mike, I'm going to have you pop this photo up here. I'll give it to you to pop up when you're doing your stuff tomorrow. This one year, I remember my wife and I, we went all out. If someone wanted something, we got it for them. We didn't care about price. We didn't care how much it was. And I remember the kids, we had this pile of presents stacked up that was over their heads. And I sit down and I think about that now. And, doing that didn't make me feel any better, I guess. It was neat, I guess, to say that we've done that, but it didn't make me feel any better. And I found out that the real meaning of Christmas, it's not the gifts that are under the tree. It's the people and the lives that are around the tree. That's the real meaning of what this is. So if you're struggling out there and you feel like you're not meeting up to what you want to do and you can't afford to buy all these gifts and stuff, it's not what it's about. Just go give your family a hug and tell them that you love them. Because I can tell you right now that we have a special presentation for you tonight. We've put together a video presentation. You're going to get to see me and Michael and Eric and Garrett and Callie and Kim and all of us when we were little bitty babies and growing. When you look at these photos, you'll see a lot of moments with a lot of wonderful people that mean a lot to us. But all the stuff, all the toys, all the junk of life, you don't remember that. But you remember the people and you remember the times and you remember the memories, right? So make sure toward the end of the show you'll see this wonderful video compilation that Michael has put together. You'll get to see how goofy I was as a child. As well as the rest of these fellas here. But I'll tell you what. I'll tell you a story, and the person, if this gets out, and the person hears this, they're going to be in shock that I remembered this. But I remembered it because it was a special time for me. I remember I was in first grade at Hall Street Elementary in Madisonville, Kentucky, and my first grade teacher was Miss Smith. And I believe it was either my 6th year, I think I was turning 6. I might have been turning 7. But back in the 80s, you used to have the birthdays at McDonald's. You guys all remember the birthdays at McDonald's? Yeah. It was a big shindig. Ronald McDonald came out and made a big presentation. I remember I was having a birthday at McDonald's, and I remember there was some people from my class there, and I can't remember a single one of them's name. I can't remember a single person that attended my birthday at McDonald's. I can't remember a single thing that any of those people gave to me. But I do remember this one kid. There was one kid in my first grade class, and I remember his name. His name was David Green. So if there's a David Green out there that lived in Madisonville and was in Miss Smith's first grade class from Hall Street Elementary, Madisonville, Kentucky, and somehow you see this episode, I want you to email me at chris@agendatruth.com, and if you can't, email me your phone number, because I do remember you. I remember David couldn't come to my first grade birthday party at McDonald's. And I remember that growing up, I think David was one of the children. I could be wrong, but I think the perception was he was one of the less fortunate kids in our class. But David was a good kid. And I remember that the Monday that I came back to school after my birthday, I remember that I sat down at class, and Miss Smith, our teacher, said, "Chris, David's got a special present for you." And I remember that David Green, even though he couldn't come to my birthday party, he took the time to go get me a birthday present. And I remember exactly what it was. It was a He-Man action figure, and it was this guy. The guy had a beard like me, short hair, but his hand was this, I can't remember his name, but his hand was like this giant iron fist, and he had this button that would make him punch stuff, you know? And I remember back then, I loved He-Man. He-Man action figures was before the days of G.I. Joe, all right? And I remember that the reason why I remember that isn't because I got a present. I remember it because David Green took the time and thought about me from his heart. And I remember that the fact that David Green did that meant more to me than what that toy ever did. And that was a valuable life lesson that I learned. And I've never forgotten it. And I have tried to be a giving person. I'm a stern person. I don't believe in giving a man to fish. I believe in teaching a man to fish. But I have always tried to give back in life to the best that I can. And just know this Christmas season that it's not about the iPads or the iPhones. It's about touching people's lives with your heart with real meaning. Don't ever lose touch of that. I want to share something with you, that a concept that I've had in my deep nights of thinking. I don't sleep a whole lot, except for during the day while Mike's doing video production and stuff. I'll go and take a nap in my office. He gets on to me about it, but he doesn't realize, a lot of these guys don't realize I'm up all night thinking about stuff for this show, okay? But it's here and over there. They are too. Everyone here works really hard. I had this epiphany about a Christmas tree. Many of us have probably heard stories about Christmas trees. My wife drew this for us today. And there's a couple of things that I want you to do and think differently when you look at the Christmas tree this year. I've heard some stories about what the Christmas tree represents, and I think I'll touch on some of that, but I've had some epiphany on some other ideas. I look at the Christmas tree as your life, as your walk of life. You're born, you're conceived here, and you're this little bitty baby, and you're growing, and all of a sudden one day you come out and you're in life, and it's this wide base. There's so much that you can do, and time seems to last forever. You remember when you were like 5 years old? You could play outside all day long. You could ride your bike to the entire neighborhood and you never got tired. I walk a mile now and I'm out of breath. That's horrible. But it's this wide base. And as you go up to the tree, it gets narrow and narrow and narrow and narrow and narrow until you get to the star. It reminds me in the Bible when it talks about finding God and finding that faith and developing your belief in your following of Christ. It always says that wide is the way, but narrow is the path. I think Christmas trees are evergreens, and they represent everlasting life. And I think that's what Christmas is all about. It's about the birth of Jesus Christ. Us pagans out there can argue all day long about December 25th and all this stuff and winter solstice and all that. Who knows? Who knows if Jesus' actual birthday is on our calendar, December 25th. But I will tell you what, I love the fact how Jesus can take over a pagan holiday and turn it into something good. And when I think about this tree, Christmas trees are evergreens, which means everlasting life, which is the gift of life that Jesus offers. He came to this earth to live, to show us how to live, and He died on the cross so that we can have everlasting life in heaven with Him. So wide is the way and narrow is the path. Kind of narrows up. I think it has less to do with the gifts at the bottom. The gifts are the worldly stuff. And the way I look at it is, as we go this way, we leave the worldly stuff behind. And our ultimate goal is to get to the star. You follow the star. We've all heard the Christmas story of when Jesus was born in a manger. The wise men, they followed the star. And when they followed the star, they found the baby Jesus, the Messiah. I always like to think that the wise men were not wise. They were just some average dudes. But to me, they were wise because they adhered to God's calling. And they were wise and they followed the star. They sought the baby Jesus. So if each of us will keep our eyes on the star and follow and seek baby Jesus, then we can all be wise men too. All the lights on the Christmas tree. I like how the Christmas tree is kind of rough on the edges because it's kind of how life is. Your entire walk of life, you got these ups and downs, these ins and outs. It's back and forth, right? But we put lights all over Christmas trees. And I think that that's a representation of God always being with us, always being there beside us, lighting our path so that we can find our way home. The ornaments at my family are very special. A lot of them are handmade ornaments that we have made at church functions, or they're gifts from friends over the years. And so when we decorate our tree, we can see these pictures. Someone got pictures of when we were younger and stuff. We can look at them, and it brings back a memory and a time and a place with people. And I think that's what the ornaments all over the tree represent. It's all the people and the moments in our lives that have touched our lives until we get called home to heaven. The Christmas tree is very, very important. And it represents something for all of us. It even points in the direction that we're supposed to look. We're not supposed to look down here, even though the gifts and the stuff might look pretty and whatnot with all the wrapping paper on them. The tree points that we're supposed to look up. Look up toward God. And that's kind of an interpretation that I've come to have this year. And I hope that you go and look at your tree in a different light this year. And I hope that you realize, like I said earlier, that Christmas is not about the presents at the base of the tree. It's about the lives of the people around the tree. That's the meaning. And Christmas is about the gift of life. On today, you're going to hear about the gift of, life of two wonderful boys that could have been aborted. And the Keelins are going to talk about their adoption. That's a wonderful gift of life. Then you have the birth of Jesus Christ, that's a gift of life that offers eternal life. And over the course of this year, we feel like we've been part of your life, and you've been part of ours. And at the end of the show, we're going to have a very interesting video presentation, and you'll get to see all of us growing up. You'll see that we're just like you. We're just human beings that care about our country and want things to turn around for the better. I know that we're looking forward to 2013. And in 2013, there's a lot of things that are looming over us. We got this fiscal cliff. We've got a debt ceiling issue. We got things heating up over in the Middle East. We've got a lot of people who are probably going to be unemployed. We have a lot of people who are getting aid from the government right now. And I have faith. A lot of people will look at that and what we talk about, say, oh, it's the doom and gloom. I have faith that tomorrow is going to be a better day. I rejoice in the tribulation that we're about to go through because this situation, I believe, is going to bring all of us closer together. It's going to remind each and every single one of us what life is really all about. We're not the cars that we drive. We're not the houses we live in. We're not the PlayStations. We're not the TVs. We're not. All that can go away and we're still us. And each and every single one of us is a very special person in this life, and every single one of us has a special purpose. You have something that you were supposed to be doing. I encourage you to pray and find out what that is. And no matter what that calling tells you, do it. Have faith. Do it. And you'll live. You'll live every day. Live the gift of life. We all have one life that God gives each of us personally. But God gives us an infinite number of gifts of life with the people around us. I can tell you that this last year in building this I feel like I've rekindled a stronger bond with my family, with my wife, with my kids. I feel like I've had a lot of clarity of understanding. I can tell you that the bond that I've developed with Michael Camacho and Callie and his new son Dade is irreplaceable. The bond that I've developed with Eric Wardrop is amazing in its aspects of I appreciate him for everything that he does and for his honesty and for his kindness and for the laughs. I appreciate Garrett Whitesides for coming in and feeling like a brother and wanting to be part of this and working to help make it grow so that we can help change the world for the better. And his wife Corey and their son Ethan. I'm thankful for all the people who are in my life and who have made my life what it is. And it's been nothing but a blessing. Each and every single one of you that have messaged me kind words of encouragement, said prayers for each and every one of us, we have felt it. There have been times that we've wanted to give up. We wanted to throw in the towel. We've thought about it. There's been times of concern. And I can tell you that your prayers dropped those subtle innuendos in our heart that gave us encouragement and strength to continue on with the good fight. And I hope that we haven't let you down. So from us, Merry Christmas. I want to introduce a wonderful group for you that's going to bring something that's going to touch your soul. Seth and Ashley Mefford from Mud River Union as a country group over in Muhlenberg County, Kentucky. That's where I'm from. I'm from Muhlenberg County. Woohoo! They do a wonderful job of country singing, and they're going to sing some gospel music, some Christmas carols for us on the show today. We'll probably break them up in different segments here, and they're going to sing for our video presentation, which is our gift from us to you. And I'm going to tell you that I've got to say a special thank you to Michael Camacho for working all weekend. He didn't even answer the phone calls or the text messages that I sent him because he was in the recording studio all day making sure that all this stuff synced up with the audio and the video and stuff, and that the music was just right for each of you. And I think that when you listen to this, it's going to touch your soul. And when you hear these songs, I want you to just sit back, close your eyes, enjoy your wife, enjoy your husbands, enjoy your kids, enjoy your grandparents, your parents, enjoy your family that's around you. And be good to each other. Love each other. I know families can sometimes bicker and allow bad things in their life. That's normal. We're all humans. We're different people. Things like that are going to happen. But what we do is we have a choice. Can we allow that to divide us, or can we wash that away and let love unite us and bring us back to what the real meaning of Christmas is? And this Christmas, I want each and every single one of you to hug your other family like you've never hugged them before. Hug your children. Look them in the eye and tell them you love them. Kneel down beside their bed and say prayers with them. We're going to have to strengthen our families. We've got to strengthen our family. And we've got to learn to appreciate this gift of life that God has given each and every single one of us. So here's Mud River Union.
Hey everybody, we're Seth and Ashley Mefford, and we're from Muhlenberg County, Kentucky, if you can't tell by the accent. And we are the song leaders at Lee's Chapel Church, and we're excited to be here today and play some music for you guys. If you need any booking or you want us to visit your church, you can contact us at 270-519-2887. And we also have a band. We play non-Christian related music, also country. You can check us out on Facebook or the web at mudriverunion.com. I'm kind of homesick for a country to where I've never been before. No sad goodbyes will there be spoken. Time won't matter anymore. Beulah land, I'm longing for you. And someday on thee I'll stand, where my home shall be eternal. Beulah land, sweet Beulah land. Looking out across that river, where my faith will end inside. There's just a few more days to labor, then I'll take my heavenly flight. Beulah land, I'm longing for you. And someday on thee I'll stand, where my home shall be eternal.
Welcome back. Portions of this program are sponsored by jmbullion.com. Right now, we know that the value of the dollar is kind of going down because our wonderful Federal Reserve likes to do a bunch of quantitative easing, or QE infinity, and print a bunch of money all the time, which causes inflation, causes prices to go up. You can protect yourself from inflation through by hedging your bets with gold and silver. Right now, you can see that gold is getting a little expensive, so the silver market is coming up, which is kind of nice for those of us who can't afford to pay $1,700 an ounce to be able to secure our future for our family and things of that nature. If you go to jmbullion.com, you'll see that they offer all types of options for you, from 1 ounce silver bars, the 1 ounce gold bars, the 10 ounces. You can even get American gold eagles, American silver eagles, which are legal tender here in the United States. I wouldn't recommend using them though, because the value is so much more than what the Walmart cashier is going to give you for it. However, JM Bullion has wonderful customer service. If you have an IRA or a 401k, they can tell you how to utilize your investment and hedge your investments against gold and silver to protect yourself from a devalued currency. So visit jmbullion.com and check out what they've got to offer. Now we're into a wonderful segment here of the show that I've got some wonderful friends that I would like to introduce you to. The theme of tonight's episode is what Christmas is really all about, and it's really about the gift of life. And I would like to introduce to you Mark and Abby Keelin and their two wonderful sons, John Mark and Joe Matthew, who are twins. And so this is going to be fun. because I'm horrible with telling twins apart. So you guys are going to have to correct me 1,000,000 times tonight, okay?
We'll take care of you.
So let me ask you a question. How long, you all recently adopted these two wonderful boys. How long ago was that? When did you all
We got
actually
them
pick
on
up?
June the 4th.
June 4th? Mm-hmm. And how long had you been trying to adopt children for?
Probably about a year and a half.
Almost a full 18 months.
Yeah, but at first we were trying to adopt international, and then once we switched over to domestic, about this time last year, and so it took us, once all of our information was in and our profile was in and everything, all paperwork was done for the adoption agency, it took us maybe 2 months, maybe.
Yeah. It went pretty quick.
So once you switched over to doing a domestic adoption, things got a little easier for you. There was a lot less stuff.
Yeah.
Now, you were trying to adopt internationally. So which country were you attempting to adopt from, for the most part?
From South Korea.
From South Korea.
Yes.
So did you all travel to South Korea at all?
No.
No.
No? Didn't
No.
have to go over there? Mm-mm. So you didn't have to incur that expense. I've got a friend that adopted a child from Africa, and he had to travel to Africa like 5 times.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why we chose South Korea, is because you didn't have to until you actually got matched with your child.
So different countries have different policies and things.
Correct.
Okay. So you find an adoption agency, right? Mm-hmm. How did you find your adoption agency?
Through
Through a friend, like another contact.
Yeah.
Told us about our adoption agency.
So did you get that? It's all who you know. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So what's the process? Tell me what happened when you guys said, "Hey, let's adopt." Share what the process is, because I remember you all went through a whole slew of things and the cost involved and just everything you've done to grow your family here.
Yeah, first of all, we had to get us an adoption agency, and then we immediately started the process of filling out just stacks and stacks of paperwork, and sending off a lot of information. Like, you have to have background checks, child abuse checks, sex offender checks. I mean, we've been checked and rechecked, and
You get a top secret clearance, huh?
oh
Yeah.
yes. And then we also started what they call a home study, which is where our social worker came to our home. She sat down and talked to us as a couple individually. She looked through our home to make sure that, like, we, concealed our weapons and, any type of guns they needed to be put in one spot. Ammunition has to be put into another spot. Just kind of like give our home a little bit of a small inspection. And we had...
I would fail that inspection.
Yes. I think we had 3 home studies all together, and they happened over a period of time. And during all that time, you're also filling out. I mean, it just seems like it's an endless cycle of paperwork. You get some sent off, and of course, every piece of paper costs there's an amount of money tied to every piece of paper. Mm-hmm. So I think we ended up spending, close to $7,000 just on like paperwork and getting all the paperwork sent in, and the home studies paid for and all that kind of stuff.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so you get your paperwork done, all right?
Yeah.
And then what happens from there? A big waiting period?
Yeah.
Yep.
You pretty much,
You
make
just
a
wait
long
for your
story
phone to
short,
ring.
you pretty much go onto a waiting list, and and you just wait and hope and pray. One thing that helped us tremendously was the fact that we were open to any race and any gender. We were open to minor disabilities, which could be a scar, a birthmark on your face or something.
They consider that a disability.
Yeah, so
Wow.
a major
Yeah.
disability would be like missing limbs and things like that. So, so we were very flexible, and so that increases your chances, and it also speeds things up as well. Another big thing that we were open to was emergency situations. And an emergency situation would be like, a birth mother walked into the ER. Maybe she didn't know she was pregnant, or at the last minute decided to adopt, give her baby up for adoption. That would become an emergency situation, and we would then be need to be there within 24 hours. They asked us if we were open to that.
Within
and
24
we said,
hours?
Yes. And we said yes, we were open to that. Cases like that are pretty rare, and so we didn't think that would ever happen. But in our case, that actually did happen. So we got an emergency call late one night. Actually, she got a text. And
Did you hear that?
Yeah.
You get an emergency text message, and before you know it, you got a couple kids in your life.
yeah.
Yeah.
And they
You
sent
get a
us
text message.
Yeah, they sent us a picture through text after we told them that we would take the baby, and that's when they sent us a picture, and we had to be out there in 24 hours, and
Yep, that's when we opened up the suitcases and started like literally just throwing clothes into the suitcase.
yeah.
Well, you all hopped on a plane ride, and what city did you have to go to?
Salt Lake City.
Salt Lake City, Utah.
Mm-hmm.
Garrett's from out in Utah. From our show, he just moved
Yeah.
back from that area.
It's a beautiful country out there.
Yeah, so you land, and all of a sudden your parents.
Yeah, like we landed, we checked into the hotel, we went to the hospital, and we were told that the kids weren't going to be discharged from the hospital until the next day. So we were thinking that we're going to go, meet the kids, love on them, hold them, and then we were going to go out to eat dinner for the last time, just the two of us. And then we were going to go get our car seats and stroller. But when we got to the hospital, they asked us, "What did you bring your car seats?" And we said, "No, we're going to go get them." And they're like, "Oh, no, they're being discharged tonight."
Yeah, by the way, welcome to parenthood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the adoption agency gave us 2 car seats to use until we got our own. And so the kids, within 24 hours of our text message, they were in the back seat of the car, and we were just like looking at each other like, oh my.
Yeah.
That's just an amazing story. It's kind
Yeah.
of like all of a sudden your whole life is just different.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But
I
it's
mean,
great. But it's great
yeah.
though.
Yes.
It's
yes.
what we wanted, but at the same time, it's a true miracle.
Now,
Yeah.
Mark, on top of that miracle, let me ask you a question: are these guys going to be miracle wide receivers or running backs or something? Mark
and I
and I
hope
played
so.
football together in high school, so he's starting a football team, I think. Maybe.
We're going to encourage football.
No, I mean, we'll be open to anything they want to do, and we'll be their number one fan.
Well, it's amazing. So, I remember, Abby, you and Mark you pick up to just kind of help with a lot of the adoption expenses. I've learned something through talking with you all that a lot of people don't know, because I didn't know this. That if you are pregnant, and there's a lot of people that get pregnant and they think about abortion, and they're kind of scared to think, I can't financially afford a child at this time, or whatever the case may be. And maybe they don't understand. You all were telling me that when you are willing to give your child up for adoption, then a lot of those expenses of the pregnancy and everything are covered by the adoption agency.
No, we actually paid for all of their prenatal care, like all of their ultrasounds that were done, doctor visits and everything. We took care of once we got to Utah. We paid for everything.
Okay, so the parents who are adopting the children are pretty much responsible for all the medical care.
The adoption agency, that's the thing, is the beauty of it is if you're considering, this is a child, I don't think I can support it, then find an adoption agency like ours. They flew the birth mother. She's actually from Memphis, Tennessee. They flew her out to Salt Lake City, put her up in an apartment, gave her money for living expenses and counseling and that sort of thing, and
They do everything they can to help her.
yeah.
And what is the name of the adoption agency you used in Salt Lake?
We used an adoption agency called Heart to Heart.
Heart to Heart, and they're
Yeah.
headquartered in Salt Lake City, Utah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And so after the birth, they also set her up in an apartment in Memphis and helped her find a job and get on her feet.
That's her
So
hometown.
that's
Okay.
her hometown, which, the reason she gave the kids up was because she didn't have the stability. She didn't have a job. She didn't have, the stability in her life to take care of them. So the adoption agency helped her get the stability that she needed by getting her an apartment and finding her a job and teaching her how to budget her money and that sort of thing.
Okay. So there's a lot of support for the mothers who are giving up their children for adoption.
Very much so.
So there's some options that are out there that a lot of people that, like I said, I knew nothing about it. I don't think my wife did either.
And we didn't either.
You kind of learned through the process, huh?
Yeah, we learned through the process.
Now, with all these expenses that have been piling up, Abby, I remember you were baking. How many loaves of bread did you bake to sell?
Oh, I don't know. Hundreds. I had 21 loaf pans, and I would bake 21 loaves of sourdough bread, like each night. And I would sell the bread for $5 a loaf.
Wow. So do you bake for a living?
No. And I've not baked us a loaf of sourdough bread.
We've never eaten another loaf of bread since then.
No.
Yellow bread out. Burn out on bread, huh?
Yeah.
So you work in the medical field, though. Mm-hmm. What exactly do you do?
I scrub him with a physician and assist him when he does heart caths and pacemakers and procedures.
So you're all about preserving some life.
Absolutely.
Well,
That's what I do every day.
That's good to know. That's a wonderful thing that you help extend life, because life is a wonderful gift to everyone.
Oh, yeah.
And Mark, you're a CAD designer for a coal mine? Correct. Like I was telling you earlier during sound check, I could never do your job. I have to get people to draw my Christmas trees.
Yeah.
If you've ever seen my show, and I know my audience sees this, that whenever I write on the chalkboard, I can barely even read what I write. So we watch it at home, and Kim's like, "Your handwriting's so horrible." I got to work on that. So what all do you design for the mines?
I design piping and structural design for coal preparation plants.
Okay. So for the plants that actually, what do those plants do?
They prep the coal for the market. They basically take raw coal from underground or above ground, and it breaks it up and gets rid of non-coal products, and basically gives you clean coal that's good for the market to burn.
Did you hear what he just said, ladies and gentlemen? He said clean coal.
Yes.
Ever heard of that? Clean coal? For all you people in California? Clean coal. I just want to throw that out there.
Yeah.
It's all 2 cents. I support the coal industry, obviously. Now, Mark, you also do some things on the side. You're a wonderful guy with your hands.
Yes. I do a lot of remodeling on the side as well. I do flooring, tiling, any bathroom jobs. I do that on the side as well.
I'll let you all know I'm a bit biased when it comes to Mark and his work, because he's done a wonderful job at my house. We hired a contractor to tile a shower for us, and I noticed something wasn't right when the drain was 2 inches above the tile. Last time I checked, water can't go up, and Mark came in and looked at it, and Mark just shook his head and saved me, because had I used that shower, I probably would have fallen through my floor eventually, right, Mark?
That's correct.
Yeah. He's laughing at me now. He's like, man, you should just call me in the first place.
Yeah.
I didn't realize he was doing this until then. But he did a wonderful job. I've seen a lot of Mark's work. And if you're watching the show and you're from the local area, Mark, tell him your cell phone number. If you need a remodeling job, or you want a shower tiled or something, you're not going to find a better person to do that job for you. Mm-hmm. I'll just let you know, Mark was fun to work with. I enjoyed having him at the house. He does outstanding work. He's not one of these contractors that quotes you a price and then all of a sudden wants to hit you up for another $2,000 all of a sudden. It's just clean. Don't have a bunch of contractors cussing around, and the job was done perfect before he ever said it was done.
Yeah.
And that's hard to find today. In today's day, there's a lot of people that want to come. They want to get paid, but they don't want to do the job. How can people reach you if they would like to have something done?
I think the best way for people to reach me would be through my email.
Okay.
It's markkeelin@hotmail.com.
Mark Keelin, and that's
MarkEelin @hotmail.com.
Okay. Well, we'll make sure that we'll write that down perfectly so that we can we'll have it come up on the screen so everyone can see that, okay? So let's see. So you've had the boys now since June?
Mm-hmm.
How are you enjoying being parents?
We're loving it.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah.
So you're getting ready to have your first Christmas with them, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
I'm pretty excited about it.
So have you got a fireplace at the house?
Yep.
Good. So listen, do not set your alarm that night, okay? Because Santa will set it off. All right? When he comes in, the motion detector will go off.
Yeah.
I popped out my Colt 1911 one time, okay? That's Santa Claus is going to be visiting your house this year.
Mm-hmm.
Well, listen, I really appreciate you all coming on. Now, do you all have like a special fund set up for donations of
We
some sort?
don't.
You don't?
No, we don't.
Hey, Mike, we're going to set up today, and we'll get this aired out. We'll set up a Fundly account so that do you all still need to raise money for your adoption fees?
Yeah,
Yes.
we're still paying on our adoption loan, and as of right now, we'll be paying on it for 20 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, look, look at this. When you go to agendatruth.com, within the next day or two, you're going to see a donation button for a Fundly account, okay? And what we're going to do is it's going to go through the nonprofit, so your donation will be 100% tax deductible. But these funds are going to be utilized to help the Keelins with their adoption fees. If we talk about the gift of life, and we live in a country where 3,000 children a day are aborted in the United States. And I look at these two wonderful children here, and I know that when I'm old, and they're my age they are now, and I know that I'm going to get to see them probably go to the same schools that I've gone to, that me and Mark went to, that Abby went to, grew up in the same area. For some reason, I have a feeling that me and Mark are going to be sitting in some bleachers at Madison North Hopkins High School and hearing their names called out for one touchdown after another. Wink, wink. Subliminal messaging here, guys. Subliminal football. Be better than me, okay?
Yeah.
Do not play football like me. Play football like your dad. All right, kids? Trust me. I was the worst kid on the team. Mark remembers. But if this mother had chosen not to put these wonderful children up for adoption, I think about all the wonderful memories, all the good times that would never have occurred. And if you are a person out there that is scared, you're unsure of what you're going to do, and you're pregnant, and you're just at a point where you feel like it's not the right time for you, there are other options. Find an adoption agency. Call Heart to Heart Adoption Agency out in Salt Lake City, Utah. I'm sure there's others across the country. Find one, and before you make that decision that you can never take back, explore and find out what other options are available. Because I'm going to tell you that right here in our little town of Madisonville, Kentucky, of just 26,000 people, I know numerous couples that are wanting and seeking to adopt. And that's just our town. And I know that there's probably thousands upon thousands of other families out there. And there's, like I said, a lot of the agencies will offer counseling. Mm-hmm. They'll help you with your expenses. The medical bills and stuff are taken care of for you. So just know that there's things other than that solution that you can't change once it's done.
It won't cost you a thing.
Not a dime, huh?
Mm-mm. It doesn't cost a birth mom a dime.
The birth mom doesn't have to pay a thing. Mm-hmm. What have you got to lose? You know? And you can provide and offer a family that would love to have children and are ready to have children and want to raise children. I just see what if John Mark or Joe Matthew here grew up and ended up saving someone else's life or doing something special. Like these two are the ones that come up with the cure for HIV or cancer or something. I know, I can tell you all that these two children have brought a lot of joy into your lives from what I can see. But I can also tell you that they brought a lot of joy to our entire community. Mm-hmm. I see the way the people at the church have taken them in. I believe my wife Kim comes over every now and then to babysit the boys, and I know that every time she comes home, actually I like it when she comes over to babysit, because I know that when I get home, my wife's going to be in a fantastic mood. It's like, yeah, it's going to be a good day when I get home. The supper is going to be cooked. Everyone's going to be happy. It's one of those things, and I know that she just absolutely adores them. You smiling at me? Oh, I got a smile. Did you see that? Did you see that smile, Eric? I got one. Kids don't smile at me often. And I know that my daughter Emily absolutely adores spending time with them as well.
Oh yeah.
And
yeah.
and they're just amazing kiddos. And well, anyway, what we're going to do is we're going to set up a Fundly account, and 100% of the donations will be tax deductible. We're running through our 501c3. And what we're going to do is whatever donations we can acquire here, we're going to use to help the Keelins to pay down or pay off. I would love to be able to give them a check that pays off their adoption fees for having the courage to step up and be two people who were able to, in a way, save these two wonderful, precious lives. And I think they're a wonderful gift of life.
Absolutely.
And I'm so glad that everything worked out.
Mm-hmm.
I think the wildest thing is getting a text message
Yeah.
and telling, oh, you got kids now.
We thought it was pretty wild too.
Yeah.
Well, listen, thank you all very much for coming on and telling your story.
Well, thank you
It's
for having
amazing.
us here.
Thank you very much.
We appreciate it. We'll be back after this short presentation song from another song from Mud River Union. Thank you all very much.
Here in paradise, we got lots of souvenirs. That angel from Montgomery, living here for years. And no one said that old train carry more than coal. That number 9's still a friend of mine. He's sure turning old. Here in paradise, the story never dies. About Merlin pride in the air leaves, we've heard them all our lives. The music Daddy played taught me when I was just a girl. With a thumb pick and a melody, I could see the world. And I walk barefoot beside the ocean. I climb the hills of Tennessee. But in my heart there's still a song. It talks about a place called home to me. Daddy, won't you take me back to paradise, where we got lots of souvenirs. And those smokestacks are burning strong after all these years. I've always heard that a memory lives inside your soul. If that's true, they'll bury me in the ground with that black coal. 'Cause I walk barefoot beside the ocean. I've climbed the hills of Tennessee. And in my heart there's still a song that talks about a place called home to me. Daddy, won't you take me back to paradise? Oh, this is paradise. Well, it's still paradise. It's paradise to me.
Well, 'cause I walk barefoot beside the ocean. I climb the hills of Tennessee. And in my heart there's still a song that talks about a place called home to me. So Daddy, won't you take me back to paradise? Oh, this is paradise. Well, it's still paradise. It's paradise to me. Hey, welcome back. Portions of this program are sponsored by Sun Oven at sunoven.com. It's the new Be Prepared for Christmas package from sunoven.com. It contains everything you need to harness the power of the sun for cooking, boiling water, and dehydrating foods. A sun oven is the perfect gift for every prepper and outdoor enthusiast on your shopping list. See, a sun oven uses the sun's power to bake, boil, or steam food, heat water for purification and personal hygiene, and also to dehydrate foods for preservation. When you use the sun's power on sunny days, you actually will preserve your fuel storage for rainy days. Sun-baked foods also retain moisture, they have less shrinkage, and they do not burn. Sun-baked roasts are tastier and more succulent, and sun-baked bread has unparalleled taste and texture. The Be Prepared for Christmas package lets you even roast up to an 18-pound turkey. That's a big freaking turkey. So, just know that for the past 26 years, though, Sun ovens have been proudly made in the United States. Wow. When's the last time you heard of something made in the United States, right? Never. It's made in the United States, and they are durable and have a long life, and they come with a 100% satisfaction guarantee. Do not be fooled by cheap imitations. So, make sure that you visit sunoven.com today, and when you enter the promo code TRUTH, you will receive an $80 discount off the purchase of your sun oven. So make sure you go to sunoven.com and enter the promo code TRUTH. We'll be back in just a minute. Well, I hope you all have really enjoyed our Christmas special. We've had some good times and had some wonderful personal stories to share. Christmas is definitely a time that is about family. I can tell you all that the cheap China-made stuff that we all fight over at Black Friday at Walmart does not last. What lasts is the people around you and the lives that you interact with. And we've had a wonderful first year here at agendatruth.com. We've had a lot of fun. We're really looking forward to 2013. We really appreciate each and every single one of you tune in to get this message of truth that we share that's important to us to save our country and to fundamentally restore America back to our wonderful godly morals and putting God first and learning what's important in life. And right now I'm going to ask for a lot of our team and their family to come out. I want you to see everyone that's here. Garrett, come on this way, buddy. And this is Garrett and his son, Ethan, and Garrett's wonderful wife, Corey. Corey, turn around, wave at the camera. They see your back. Look at that. You can say hi. And here comes Mr. Michael Camacho, who is our executive producer, who, if you want to know who puts all the funny stuff up on the screens, is this fellow right here. This is his wonderful wife, Callie, and their son, Dade. Dade, how are you? By the way, this is their first Christmas with their newborn. And here comes my wonderful wife, Kimberly. Hi, Kim. Why you give me that look? Here's my wonderful wife. Come on, Imsy. And here's my wonderful daughter, Emily. Oh, look at that. I absolutely love this. And I have two other sons as well. Dolan, who's 18, who's at a college class right now, and Damon, who is at the movies with his friends. We see where their priorities are when they're teenagers. But we want you to know that we feel like you're part of our family, and we hope that feel like we're part of yours. And Eric. I forgot Eric. Oh my gosh, Eric, I'm so sorry. Oh my gosh, I feel so bad. Guys, we got to redo this whole thing now. No. Eric, you know I love you and you're part of my family. We keep Eric over in the corner with the camera. We got wonderful. We couldn't do this show without Eric Wardrop either. And we're all like one big family here, and we feel like we're part of your family. And but Kim just gave me a good idea. We are going to have a little box pop up right beside you right now that says, "For a good time, call." And we're gonna. So make sure we get Michael. Can you make that happen with Eric's phone number and email address? We're gonna get Eric married off, and Eric, you got to catch up with all of us, buddy. Okay, trust me.
This is the challenge.
So,
Go, Eric.
Everyone, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Thank you all very much. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Wave, Bubba.
All right, and lastly, before you leave, here's our gift to you. We got a wonderful video presentation for each of you, and I hope you see that we were all just human beings and find some laughs with it. Merry Christmas, everyone.
Bye.
did you know that your baby boy one day walk on water? Mary, did you know that your baby boy save our sons and daughters? Did you know your baby boy has come to make you new? And this child that you've delivered soon deliver you. Mary, did you know that your baby boy gives sight to a blind man? And Mary, did you know your baby boy calmed the storm with his hands? Did you know your baby boy has walked where angels trod? When you kissed your little baby, kissed the face of God. Oh, Mary, did you know? Blind will see, the deaf will hear, the dead will live again. The lame will leap, the dumb will speak, the praises of the Lamb. Oh, Mary, did you know that your baby boy is Lord of all creation? And Mary, did you know your baby boy one day rule the nations? Did you know your baby boy is heaven's perfect lamb? And the sleeping child you're holding is the great I am. Oh, Mary, did you know? Oh, Mary, Mary, yeah. Oh, Mary, did you know? Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now am found. Was blind, but now I see. 'Twas grace that taught my heart to fear, and grace my fears relieved. How precious did that grace appear the hour I first believed. Through many dangers, toils, and snares, I have already Why should I feel discouraged? Why should the shadows come? Why should my heart feel lonely and long for heaven and home? When Jesus is my portion, a constant friend is He. His eye is on the sparrow, and I know He watches me. I sing because I'm happy, and I sing because I'm free. His eye is on the sparrow, and I know He watches me. Let not your heart trouble. His tender voice I hear, and resting on His goodness, I lose my doubts and my fears. Though by the path He leadeth, but one step I may see. His eye is on the sparrow, and I know He watches me. I sing because I'm happy, and I sing because I'm free. And His eye is on the sparrow, and I know He watches. I know He watches. I know He watches.